Hey, aren't you tired of thinking about the things you want to manifest? Do you happen to sometimes catching yourself in the process of obsessing about the things that you want in your life or the things that you don't want in your life? I think after a certain while, you reach a point where you realize that you don't actually have a say in the things that happen to your life. You only have a say on how you react to them. And of course, I'm speaking from personal experience here, and I could be wrong. It could be something very personal to me, but I realize that I get very tired and not overwhelmed, but just exhausted from seeing all these videos and a lot of people just uh, talking about how to manifest what you want, when I think there could be a deeper conversation here about why is it that you want the things you want, right? I feel like manifestation, I mean, my entry point to spirituality was learning about uh, law of attraction and how do I actually align myself with the abundance flow so that um, I attract what I want. And there's a very beautiful message there because it really does help you initiate your understanding towards your emotions. But I feel like you reach a certain extreme when you go down that road for a good amount of time, where you catch and you see people saying like, man, law of attraction doesn't work, I'm not manifesting my brand new Ferrari, or my red car with four seats and whatever. And because those people read about needing to be very specific about what they want, and they think that that translates to a specific material object that they think they need to have in their lives. And again, I don't own the truth here, and I could be wrong in saying this, but I feel like the world does not work that way. The universe brings to you your current energy, the current thing that you're vibrating. And so we sometimes cannot think about the thing that we think we need, but the feeling that we have that creates that need in the first place. Like, why do I need to have this specific thing? What thought caused the need for this? It's very interesting to think about our thoughts like some sort of threads that are being created in our consciousness, in our mind. And sometimes you're just living life feeling peaceful, I guess, even though you are, working in your 9 to 5, or, doing whatever you're doing. And then out of nowhere, you start worrying, right, about something. What happened in the process between those steps, between your blissful experience and your worriness? Well, I find that for me, a lot of the times is I experience certain thoughts and I engage in them, and I start entertaining them, and I start identifying myself with them. And based on that, it's like a thread that starts developing until I get to a point where I'm worrying about something that if I snap out of it, I cannot even remember what I was thinking about. Sometimes I'm worrying so much about something, then another thing brings like bursts out to my attention, and then I start paying attention to another thing, and then I stop. That thing naturally stops, and then I'm like, but what was I thinking about that I was being so worried? Then I realized that, like, if I don't remember what is it that I was thinking about that was making me worried, I don't even need to try and remember it, right? Because I'm not gonna have control over that right now. And so, how does this connect to manifestation, right? Because why do we as humans try to manifest things? Like, what is the need behind it? Of course, there are two sides here of the same coin, which is it's completely fine and okay to want a better situation for yourself, to want more comfort, more freedom, to strive for freedom is a very beautiful thing. But freedom is an emotion, right? You can feel free working in a 9 to 5. So I feel like there's a balance that needs to be taken here where you strive for the things you want, but you also keep yourself in check by integrating into your life a process of self understanding and self analysis, where you journal, you keep your mind in check, you realize certain thoughts that are not yours, and you use that to dig in deep within you. Because here's the thing, sometimes we feel like we want things, but if we expand our consciousness enough, we realize that we don't actually want certain things. We are subconsciously trying to feel or feel a feeling that is trying to be integrated by the external, by an external experience, and we are going to continue to try and feel that feeling until we see the pattern, see the situation consciously. And there is no one truth about this. But I feel like this process um, of integrating those two polarities, where you strive for the life you want, but at the same time you keep yourself in check and realize that sometimes you don't even want certain things. You are just playing out unconscious patterns out there, and that is basically directing your life. I feel like somewhere in between those polarities, your real life and integration happens. Because if we just go out there and start like preaching about non-duality, that has a place too. But I feel like the real integration in learning about yourself is really putting yourself out there and realize the contrast between your experience and your feeling and your current feeling, right? Why am I talking so much about this contrast? Because we live in duality. We learn what we like because we know what we don't like. I like to use a very nice analogy, which is I feel like I'm a river, and this river is going down its path, and the limits of the path that the river is going down are the things I don't like, basically, are the things that my heart feels is not attracted to it. I don't know where I'm going. I really don't, but I'm okay with that. I don't need to have control over everything. And it's okay if at a certain point I feel like I do, because I can just snap out of it. I can keep myself in check and realize that when I want control over certain things, I can almost certainly make a connection where I'm feeling vulnerable somewhere else. I'm feeling like my needs are not being met somewhere else. And when that happens, I basically go into fight or flight mode and I start identifying with a specific pattern. And this process of catching yourself is something that you can develop. I think that you can do great things from there. Tell me what you think about that in the comments. See you next time.